And we are back. This is D-Money, in case you couldn't tell when you clicked on the thumbnail. And I'm here with a video about bounty farming for people who don't like doing bounties. There are plenty of reasons to grind bounties for XP in Destiny 2. It could be as simple as completing the season pass faster, getting more bright engrams for older cosmetic items, and most importantly, getting your light level high enough to enter Grandmaster Nightfalls and also not be dead weight in Master Vault of Glass. I'm making this video to help you do whatever one of those goals it is that you have set for yourself in as little time as possible. In order to do that, I have 5 tips I'm going to give you, and I'm going to go over each one in a little more detail. The first tip is download the Destiny 2 app. Whether you have an iOS or Android phone, check your respective store, download it. Trust me, this will save you so much time because it saves you the trouble of having to visit each vendor individually. Not to mention, you can grab bounties while you're offline, off of the game, while you're on break at work or something. Or if you're in game, you can do it while you're in orbit. Either way, it saves you a ton of time. Definitely do it if you have the phone for it, which most people do, but hell, you never know. Tip number 2, do the weekly bounties from the vendors who have them. You go to the Cosmodrome, Shahan, Varrix at Europa, Aeris Morn, and Electron on the moon. As you can see, we're checking the Cosmodrome first. We'll go over these ones real quick. Now these ones are super easy, and even if you're not really a bounty farmer, you can do these every week on each character regardless. It'll get you a decent chunk of experience. First one is complete public events on the Cosmodrome. Heroic public events grant the most efficient progress. 3 public events, a heroic counts as 2 completions. Super easy. The hardest thing about all the Cosmodrome bounties combined is having to wait for public events. Or getting to this one on Forgotten Shore because you have the Skywatch fast travel point and you have to go all the way through the terrestrial complex to get there. No Sparrow unless you're very good at squeezing through. In case you're not familiar, you're basically going backward through the Navoda strike and then all the way over here. This one is typically, if not always, glimmer extraction in my experience. The other weekly is defeat combatants on the Cosmodrome with arc, void, and solar damage. Super easy. Just use a energy primary, machine gun, anything like that. Super easy. Between all the Cosmodrome bounties, you'll be here for maybe 15-20 minutes, if even. Again, it all depends on public event timing. Next up, we are visiting Varrix on Europa. These 2 weekly bounties, as always. The first one is complete lost sectors, public events, and patrols. This takes 3 lost sector completions, super easy. Public event, if I remember correctly, is 25%. Heroic public event is 30%. Skip it, just do lost sectors. Fast travel to Eventide Ruins. Do this bunker E15 or whatever, I can't really tell because I never got this region chest. Kill the boss, open the chest. Fast travel out, do it 2 more times. Boom, you're done. Easy. The second one, this is the weekly Empire Hunt. Defeat the boss and earn points at defeating combatants with precision final blows. Higher difficulties grant more efficient progress. You can do this typically in 1 heroic completion. You just make sure you bring your champion loadouts, and it still has matchmaking, so it should be pretty easy. But in case you don't get all the kills you need, load in solo to legend or master. I think the precision hit progress on legend is somewhere around like 6%, so that should be super easy to finish off the precision kill portion of it. Next up, we're going to pay a visit to Aeris on the moon. The first of our weekly bounties is complete waves of Altars of Sorrow in Sorrow's Harbor. But this is, you have to complete 7 waves. You don't have to do all of them in succession. Final boss wave, if I remember correctly, does not count as a wave completion. Normally what I do is I do waves 1 and 2, maybe 3. Fast travel, try to get into a new instance where there's another wave 1 or 2. Keep doing that until I complete it. What I have noticed is that if you are in a wave and it completes without actually progressing to the next wave, that will count as a wave completion for this bounty. So you can go AFK for a few minutes and it'll be okay. The second weekly bounty is loot chests in 3 of the moon's lost sectors. It's these 3 specific ones, as you can see: K1 Communion, Logistics, and Crew Quarters. Those all 3 except for the one in Sorrow's Harbor, which is Revelation. Just make sure you can kill Az really fast because you have to kill all of them before you can move on. Unlike the older lost sectors pre-Shadowkeep, you run weapons with Firefly, Reservoir Burst, something like that. If you're running Titan, Just run Doom Archers and punch everything. That's the fastest thing you can do. Slap on the movement exotic and just get to work. Next, we move over to the Electron of Enchantment. First one, defeat nightmares and nightmare hunts. You don't have to get final blows on them, just get one shot on each nightmare. Make sure you do not melt the boss. This should take 2 adept run. That's it. This next one here says defeat nightmares and lost sectors across the solar system. Nightmares defeated on the moon only grant reduced progress. I made a video about this not long ago, so since you probably didn't see it, I'll re-explain it to you. This can be completed at the time of filming from any nightmare kill. You can do this in the Altars of Sorrow. You can do this in nightmare hunts. So whether you're doing the Aeris bounty or this one, 2 nightmare hunts, you'll get both of these done. Super easy. Tip number 3, pick up dailies from those vendors that can be completed without making serious adjustments or major additional time commitments. We're already at the lectern, so we'll just check these ones real quick just so you can get a preview of what they are. As you can see, there are 4 dailies. They're usually picked from a pool of somewhere between 12 and 16. First one is defeat combatants with grenades and nightmare hunts. Worth picking up, easy enough. Defeat combatants and nightmare hunts with finishers. I usually just skip these finisher ones. I don't feel like doing it. I just shoot them to death. But if you want to do this, just make sure you're running a weapon like an auto rifle or an SMG in order to soften them up. Hand cannon or something like that will just one-shot them even with a body shot in some cases. Find the lost sector K1 communion. Definitely pick this one up. If it's communion or logistics. Revelation, skip because that doesn't count towards the moon weekly. If it's crew quarters, skip that as well because for some reason, even if I take my sweet time trying to kill the boss, the 3rd nightmare never wants to spawn for me. So again, skip Revelation and crew quarters. Defeat nightmares in the lost sectors on Nessus or EDZ. You'll see that one a lot as well. I would skip this one because again, you're just going to do the weeklies and the nightmare hunts. However, if you really want to do this one, by all means go ahead. Just make sure you check bounties at Devrim K or Failsafe, whoever. If you want to do a little extra XP, again, I would skip this because we're trying to minimize time. Back over to Aeris, see what she has. Loot chests on the moon. It's not hard to do, but it takes a little bit of time, so I'd skip it. Feet Hive and Hellmouth on the moon. Really simple to do, just a matter of ensuring there's enough enemy density in these areas, which there not always is. Worth a shot though. Using a hand cannon, rapidly defeat combatants in groups of 2 or more. Easy, definitely pick this up. Fusion rifle, rapidly defeat combatants in groups of 2 or more. Very easy. Get this one. Especially this season with fusions the way they are. Definitely do it. I want to take a moment to reiterate that you should be getting all these bounties from the Destiny 2 app. I'm simply just going to each vendor in game because it's much easier to record. Back to Varrix, see what he's got. Feet falling on Europa with precision final blows. Easy. Pick it up. Defeat Vex on Europa. Easy. Also, it's probably going to be done in these lost sectors that you should be doing. Using a submachine gun to defeat combatants in groups of 2 or more in Europa lost sectors. Again, you're already doing lost sectors. Pick it up. Complete a heroic public event in Eventide Ruins. Just skip it. You don't need to do public events. Lost sectors are better for weekly progress. Not to mention you're going to have to wait for something and you're at the mercy of the people around you maybe not knowing how to do it. Back to Shahan. These ones are all easy. Typically you should do them all. Preview, feet falling anywhere, 20 kills, easy. Precision damage, easy. 5 melee kills, 3 super kills, super easy. Always pick up the Cosmodrome dailies. The one that I will usually skip is the patrol one. And that's because the kill-based patrols take much longer to complete than they did before Beyond Light. Enemy density is often sparse. It's not what you'd like it to be. But since again, the hardest part of getting Cosmodrome stuff done in the first place will be waiting for public events to start, patrols might be worth doing to pass the time. On to tip number 4. Pick up from other vendors whatever else you can complete easily. These vendors are Banshee, Splicerservator, the Wayfinder's Compass, and Zavala. Sometimes. First, to check Banshee. It's basically just weapon kills with certain weapon types. Auto rifles, bonus progress with precision final blows and against opposing guardians. Submachine guns, same deal. Rocket launcher, same thing. Solo weapons, easy. Zavala isn't the greatest one, but he will typically have 1 or 2 bounties that can be done outside of strikes. Something like grenade kills or another typically related to super kills. Checking over these real quick. Defeat enemies with precision damage. This can be done anywhere. The other 3 for today have to be on strike. Next up is the Splicerservator. Most of his bounties can be completed outside of Splicer activities, but they do progress faster within Splicer activities like Override in particular. Defeat targets with shotguns, defeat Override combatants and defeated guardians are worth more. That's worth doing. Targets with supers, simple. deposit data modes, you have to do override, so we're going to skip that for the sake of time. Defeat Vex with precision shot. I would skip that one because the current seasonal activity doesn't involve Vex at all, so you probably won't be seeing them as much. Finally, we're going to check the Wayfinder's Compass for the Astral Bounties. These can be completed anywhere in the game, but they're completed faster in Season of the Lost activities. And just an FYI, I've completed some of these in Astral Alignment before I even left the blind well into the ley line areas. Power grenade launchers, easy. Grenade kills, easy. Combats with finishers. I usually skip these, but this is, if you're doing Astral Alignment, it's going to go super quick. Energy weapons, easy. You should pick up all these dailies whenever you're doing bounty farming. And finally, tip number 5, don't bother with repeatables. Just buy them if it helps you finish the weekly powerful reward by getting 2 or 3 done within a reasonable time. For example, if you're doing Varrix, Banshee, or Astral Alignment. These are fairly simple and easy. For example, get 25 kills with a certain weapon type, but it often asks you to use off-meta gear, which defeats the purpose of speedy completions. That being said, if you plan on grinding an activity for a long time, like Astral Alignment for the Aeris Scepter Catalyst, you're grinding strikes, crucibles, then by all means, if you're going to be in those activities for a long time, then by all means, you do you. I'm not going to stop you. It's extra XP, it's not going to kill you. It's just going to cost you a decent amount of glimmer. These ones are cheaper right here, but they're typically 3,000. So that's it for the video, but just to reiterate, number 1, download the Destiny 2 app. 2, do the weekly bounties from those 4 vendors, Shahan, Varrix, Aeris, and Electron. Tip 3, pick up the dailies from those respective vendors that can be completed without making serious adjustments or additional time commitments. Number 4, pick up from other vendors whatever else you can complete easily. Zavala, Banshee, Splicerservator, Wayfinder's Compass. Number 5, don't bother repeatables unless you need 1 or 2 to finish the weekly powerfuls, or if you're going to be seriously grinding certain activities for quite some time. If you do everything I've laid out for you in this video, even without the well-rested or shared wisdom bonuses, you'll easily get at least 5 to 6 levels out of it. But that's the end of the video there. If you feel like this was helpful for you, like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. Engagement helps visibility. Thanks for watching. Hope I'll see you in the next one.